No, I really appreciate what you're doing, what you're explaining to the people, because many people now are using podcasts as a strategy. But I don't know, it's this whole old dilemma between driving downloads versus driving pipeline. A lot of people, like in my case, I did not create the podcast to drive downloads. I created to drive business opportunities, and downloads was an afterthought. Even now, like I'm not even, if somebody, if downloads happen, I'm not going to go cry about it. I'll be very happy. But my ultimate objective, my number one objective is, am I delivering something on a business level that people are appreciating and they're getting value out of it, right? So there is this notion, download versus pipeline, and everybody I talk to now, they're starting a podcast. Good for them. And the more voices, the better. And these tools are, like you mentioned, I mean, these tools are available now. Anybody can learn them. They're not that complicated. But where it becomes really a little complicated is what you're doing. 4 podcasts per week, being consistent, dominate the airwave. It becomes very like, just to book the time to be with the guests 4 times a week. That's a lot of time, because there's a prep work and there's post work that needs to happen. And this is where I think people fall short. Those new podcasters, I see people blip on the radar. They do 1 or 2 and they disappear for 6 months, and then they come back and try it again. What has been your experience in terms of consistency and the pipeline drive? Were they related?
So consistency is just a matter of, I ran into a lot of interesting people. I'm going, gee, I want to hear your story. So that was kind of the momentum to start the process. Right now, when most people, when I'm having a chat with them, or I'm going to an interesting story, I say, hi, you want to do a podcast? Like right now, I'm booking out into, I think, March 2026 or April, thereabouts. I'll book upwards to 4 to 6 people a week for podcasts, much to the chagrin of my co-host sometimes. He goes, "Oh, Bernie, stop." And sometimes a person can't make it. Life happens, right? And which is okay. We can always reschedule. So I have an open block, and later on I'll come across an interesting story, and I'll have a chat with somebody, and just it becomes that. I'll insert it into that time slot that I had booked originally. Maybe not at that time, but there's a slot that I've allotted, and so it becomes, I can put promotional content into that space too, and not just hi, please buy the widget, but here's a widget and this is what the widget does, and if you're interested, cool. If not, that's fine, but understand what's out there. So it helps build that out for utility. The At the end of the day, for the consistency and keep pushing it out, it becomes a routine, a rhythm. But the rhythm has utility. Are people benefiting from it? Some people are getting some feedback. I know we're getting, both Wayne and I are getting feedback from people that, can I be on your podcast? Yeah, let's have a chat first. So I'm mindful of who's coming into the door. If you're coming in with something that's kind of sketch, and I say sketch as in it's like, I also don't target the politics. I don't target religion, sex, drugs. You can do music, but I'm not looking to set fire to the world. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to share and have a good conversation. And the podcast itself is not meant to be an interrogation. It's
Conversation.
It's a conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? One of the things that I don't know if you probably noticed it as well is, a lot of these stories were hiding under a rock somewhere, and you bring it up to, putting in the front, giving it a little bit more light. And I mean by light is just putting them out there so people can find out about them. Otherwise, you tell a few of your friends, people know about you locally, you're not that really visible out there. And digital media, such podcast, allows you to take your story and amplify it a little bit further, which, if you're in business, that's also helpful.